What's up, guys? This is Matt Ramsey with the Octave Higher East Voice Studio in Austin, Texas. This is Octave Higher TV episode 26, and today we're talking about, well, we're answering the age-old question, can anybody learn to sing well? Let's get it started. Well, guys, I think this is a fantastic question, and it's one that I get really often. Can anybody learn to sing well? Now, let me first say I think the short answer is yes. I think anybody can learn to sing, barring that you don't have any medical conditions that disallow you to speak or to sing in a healthy manner. You don't have nodules, you don't have reflux, things like this that is really inhibiting you from speaking in a healthy way, and on top of that, singing also in a healthy way. So besides that, I think anybody can learn to sing. Now, there are lots and lots of steps in order to kind of look at the vocal development of a singer, and I want to take you through some of those so you can kind of get an idea about where you're at, and maybe if you're taking lessons, where that teacher is kind of taking you. So step one is matching pitch and rhythm. Okay, are you able to match the pitch of the exercise that I give you? So I give you mum, 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 mum. Are you able to match that pitch? Or are you mum, 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 mum? You're too flat, or mum, 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 mum. You're too sharp. There's something going on there that you're not able to match that pitch so well. Now, let me say in regards to pitch that oftentimes these exercises that we're working on will actually improve your pitch making ability because we start giving you exercises that kind of work with the voice as it is right now. And we'll get into that just a little bit more in a minute. But also matching rhythm, very important. So mum, 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 is that too fast according to the exercise that I gave you? Or mum, 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 is that too slow? Okay, number two, discovering chest and head voice. This is a really important step, and it's where a whole lot of very new singers to my studio kind of get hung up. So oftentimes I'll have, male singers that have been singing in such a really strong chest voice their whole lives that the idea of getting whoo or whee is a brand new experience for them. So that's the next step in order to discover both of those registers, both what's on bottom and what's on top. Step three, now we're getting into the really heavy stuff. Now that you've discovered chest voice and head voice, can you find a way to connect the two? So rather than mum, 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 is more connected. As in, you're finding a mix between the chest voice and a head voice. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect mix. I know you guys have heard me talk about mix a whole lot, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be connected. So, for instance, mum, 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 is still connected. It's flipping a little bit as it goes towards the top. It's losing some of that power. However, it's still connected. Or mum, 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 is still connected. So we'll leave that for the next step. And the next step is coordinating chest voice and head voice. Now, this is a really important thing. So we've found out what that is on bottom, what that is on top. Now, we've also found a way to find a connection between those two. Maybe it's not a perfect connection. So what we need to do is we need to learn to coordinate those a little bit better. So, for instance, if you can do it on a gee, 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 so you're able to get up to that top note on a gee, gee, gee. But what about a mum? Mum, 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 mum. You're disconnecting a little bit. So we need to go back and kind of do some more work there. Now we need to coordinate those two registers so that instead of them being distinct and separate, they're starting to learn to work together, and that whole system or that whole process becomes more and more automatic. And finally, we start to look at what the larynx is doing on top of that. A whole lot of the time we're using some higher larynx exercises to assist that connection step, to assist getting up to those top notes. A really popular exercise is nay, 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 in order to get up to that nay, 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 that top note. Now, in order to do that, we're artificially raising the larynx by using that bratty sound. That's a high larynx. If you kind of gently feel your throat and you do this bratty sound, especially on nay, 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 you may feel that your larynx is a little bit higher than if you were to just say nay, nay, nay. Now, in order to get the larynx down, requires a really special balance. Now, ideally, we want to achieve all of those steps before we get to the larynx, because if you start by just lowering the larynx, then everything on top is going to sound really funny, and everything on the bottom is also going to be a little bit uncoordinated as well. So we want to kind of get all those boxes checked off first before we start dealing with the larynx. Once you've dealt with the larynx and get that to a resting position through most of these vocal exercises, then you get to start working on things like vibrato and dynamics and pitch and tone and all this stuff. Well, not pitch, we've already covered that. But then finally, we're just going to start working on songs. Now, a whole lot of the time, we start kind of covering these really, really quickly in lessons, and sometimes we'll be kind of covering two, different things at the same time. Ideally, we want to kind of just knock them out individually. But sometimes if I have a more advanced student, we can kind of be balancing the larynx and coordinating chest and head voice kind of at the same time. Something like a na 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 na. They're connected. They're getting coordinated between that chest voice and the head voice, and that is a little bit of a back vowel, which helps to kind of stabilize the larynx, and that's balancing that, so you get a really, really nice even tone from the bottom to the top. So what I would do is I would recommend taking a look at kind of that checklist and seeing where you're at, and also see if you can start identifying where you are in your lessons with your voice teacher so that you can kind of start to see the process and figure out what stage of vocal development you're in. So in other words, can anyone learn to sing well? Yes. But it depends. There's a whole lot of different stages for you to get through to sing in a beautiful and free and balanced manner anywhere in your voice. And that's where we do the majority of our work. Guys, have a great week. Thank you.